Hello, this is Joe Polish. I'm here with a very handsome fellow, Mr. Frank Kern.
It's an accurate statement.
Yes, yes. Anyway, we're going to talk about what we learned from Gary Halbert, because we're going to share this with all of the readers of the Gary Halbert letter and anyone that was a Gary Halbert fan. And I was introduced to marketing from that dude, Gary Halbert. Crazy, brilliant, interesting guy. Frank, what did you learn from Halbert?
One of the things of many was how to write colloquially and the importance of weirdness and marketing and sales copy, and the importance of not being afraid to slap the reader around a little bit when necessary.
You do that a lot.
I do it, yeah, and they like it.
And
it's just the way they are.
So, I mean, why should anyone read Halbert's stuff? I mean, he left pretty much a body of work that's pretty darn incredible. And
yeah, it's absolutely incredible.
And some of the latest marketing stuff, especially with the internet, doesn't contain a lot of the, fundamental direct response stuff from people, even, back in the 1800s and early 1900s and stuff. So, what is, if there were, three top things you learned from Halbert, what would they be?
Well, number one is that it's okay to be deliberately bizarre and weird in copy, to almost a P.T. Barnum type of level, although I think Gary was more elegant than Barnum, so,
Yeah.
But that it's completely cool and fine and acceptable and profitable to break out of, normal conversation. Who would call you bucko and say, listen up to old Guru Gary, and, which segues into number two, which is okay to slap the reader around and really take authority in the copy, but in a playful way, so it wasn't like the way your doctor would talk to you or something. It was like this guy who's telling you what to do, and he's slapping you around a little bit, metaphorically, obviously, but doing it in a way that was that wasn't unkind. Yes. I guess.
Because you're a very kind man.
I really am. I mean, just ridiculously so. And aside from being just phenomenally attractive and charismatic, almost to the point of having animal magnetism,
Right.
Yeah, and the third thing would be how to write just exactly like you talk, super colloquially.
How do you define colloquially?
Well, it's a French term, for
colloquial. So how do you define it?
It's an ingredient that comes with French onion soup, and it's very hard to get, but you can get it at some Asian. Yeah, it grows on. It's a root vegetable. Just like writing like you talk, I guess.
Right.
The slang, you know what I mean? And
yeah.
Just a lot of ellipses, lots of uses of ellipses, and to write as if you're at the bar talking to one of your friends.
Well, and so the beauty of this is you don't need to be very well educated in quote unquote how to write proper English and speak proper
I think that's the last thing you would want to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a handicap. Awesome. Well, what I learned from Halbert, he said something to me early on, which over the years has become more and more true. He said that almost any problem, well, he said not almost, he said any problem in the world could be solved with the right sales letter. And at first when I heard that, I was like, yeah, there's a lot of things in life that can't be solved with the right sales letter. And the reality is almost any problem can be solved, or at least the starting point of improving it, with the right sales letter. Because what is a sales letter? It's just taking a communication, a message, and canning and cloning it. And I still think of the sales letter as a website or a video or an audio or whatever, because anything that communicates a message that persuades people, I would put into the category of the right sales letter. Also, he taught me about the importance of theater by adding theater, grabbers to the top of sales letters, headlines, just literally creating some sort of attractive element of any of your copy and anything that you do, and that's totally lacking in most people's marketing is theater. Another is bonding. He had an addictive newsletter. I mean, you didn't want to stop reading it, and so that was really critical. And then the last thing a bunch of things which I'll write a whole newsletter about for everyone in Halbert's group, but you will accomplish more through movement than you ever will through meditation. So sitting around pondering is useful, but for the most part, you just need to get off your ass and actually take action and do something and not expect it to be perfect. It's better to be done than perfect, and Halbert was very good at that. Anything else you want to say there, man?
Shenanigans. He was a master of shenanigans, and he included lots of shenanigans in his marketing, which made the marketing and the writing very addictive, like you said, and fun. So I define the grabbers and all the theater you say. I think that falls into the shenanigans category.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So shenanigans are just,
shenanigans is important.
Yeah, very important. You can't have too many.
So if you don't know anything about Kern, he's a fantastic, brilliant, evil genius marketer, and
capital J.
Yeah.
Genius
And
with Kevin and Joe.
I'm Joe Polish, Piranha Marketing. This is Frank Kern, Mass Control. What do you call your company?
What?
What do you call it?
I don't call it that far into the radar. I don't even think it's nothing.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
FrankKern.com if you enjoy shenanigans.
Yes.
You can go there. Yeah.
And, you know, if you've not studied any Halbert stuff, the very first issue that I ever read that got me into the world of direct response was the 1992, I think it was the March 1992 issue of the Gary Halbert letter about players with money. And it had the Halbert Index. And if you want to go back and find that issue, the Halbert Index, absolutely brilliant. Smart people would rather spend $1,000 on one page of valuable information than $10 on a 300-page book that's filled with fluff. So be willing to learn from the masters. There's incredible stuff out there if you seek it out. And Halbert was one of those people. The entire world of direct response owes an enormous amount to that guy. And anyone that studies his stuff to this day can make millions of dollars if you're willing to learn it and apply it and all that jazz.
It worked for us.
Yes.
So clearly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So that's it. Anything else?
That's it.
We're done. We're done. Thanks for watching.